welcome back to my channel. I'm Momo, how are you doing today? So, after weeks of seeing K-pop Demon Hunters everywhere on my feed, I finally gave in and watched it, and oh my god, it's amazing! The animation, the music, the characters, everything was just so fun and stunning to watch. But here's the thing, as I watched, I couldn't stop thinking, Rumi, Zoey and Mira already feel like modern magical girls. So I thought, why not take it a step further? In today's video, I'm reimagining all three of them as traditional magical girls. Stick around to see the final designs. So what is K-pop Demon Hunters? K-pop Demon Hunters is a very popular Netflix movie released last month about a K-pop girl group that keeps the world safe from demons through their music. As they bring happiness and hope through their songs, they strengthen this barrier called the honeymoon that keeps demons sealed away for the most part. Huntrix is the name of the girl group composed of Rumi, the leader, Mira, the cool and sharp one, and Zoey, the cute and chaotic one. In the beginning of the movie, they are very close to seal the honeymoon completely. Guima, the king of demons, is trying to stop this from happening, but it's not working out. Frankly, the demons are just really dumb and incompetent, until a demon called Gino comes to him with the idea of fighting fire with fire. Huntrix thrives by singing and gaining fans, so they should do the same and steal their supporters. Gino creates the boy band Saja Boys and they start stealing the fans and their souls. Of course, this is not all. As the two K-pop groups fight each other, secrets start to be unveiled, specifically that Rumi appears to be part demon. When Gino notices this, he starts to try and get closer to Rumi. At first, it seems that he's doing so to gain her trust to ultimately defeat Huntrix, but after a few scenes, it's evident that both Gino and Rumi develop feelings for each other. So then, who will win this tug of war for the fans? Will Huntrix be able to seal the honeymoon, or will Guima come out on top? Because I don't want to spoil the whole movie, I leave it here, but I strongly recommend not skipping this one. I know the title is kinda dumb, that was one of the main reasons why I didn't watch it at first, it sounded too corny, but the movie is everything but. K-pop Demon Hunters is a breath of fresh air in the animation movie industry, excluding indie projects of course. The story is well written, the songs are just straight up bangers, the characters feel fleshed out, the animation is fun, they lean very strongly on anime aesthetics, they are not afraid to make the girls look ugly as they emote, in fact they come out with some really fun and frankly unhinged expressions for the girls. The cinematography and lighting clearly takes inspiration from K-dramas. In fact, Korean culture is not treated as an aesthetic choice, but as a conscious decision, and they clearly take the cultural accuracy of this movie very seriously. The main characters are strong women whose only fault isn't being adorkable, but rather real human flaws. They clearly do not need a man, but the narrative still wants to explore romantic relationships, which is unfortunately not very explored anymore with animated movies with female protagonists. And it's frankly just a really funny movie. I mentioned before that this movie feels very much like a magical girl movie, and I have a few reasons for it. So, for example, it's a team of powerful girls with magic powers that fight evil while still embracing their femininity unapologetically. They fight physically but also through song, they summon their weapons by reaching out to the honeymoon, their power comes from the happiness and hope they bring to the world. The friendship between the girls is one of the most important aspects of the narrative. And finally, it's a story that isn't afraid to do romance, specifically enemies/rivals to lovers, which is super common in magical girl media, especially older series. Sakura and Shaoran, Usagi and Mamoru, Kyoku and Sayaka, Ichigo and Kishu, sort of, and so on. It's certainly a modern take on the magical girl story, so why not take it and reimagining them as more traditional magical girls? Sparkles, ribbons, the whole deal. Let's do it! Zoey is my favorite character in the movie, so let's start by redesigning her. She is the youngest and she is the cute and chaotic member of the group. At the beginning of the movie, we see her fans describe her as very cute and sweet, but super scary once she starts to rap. Usually in K-pop, rap is very technical and controlled, but Zoey doesn't follow those rules, probably because she grew up in America, where rap is performed with much more intensity. Zoey is the only member of the group that isn't full Korean. She is American Korean, and it sort of shows in a few scenes, especially the bow scene where it's pretty clear she's the one having the harder time doing a deep bow. We don't actually get to see much of Zoey's backstory. The most we see is what appears in the Golden music video, where she sings that she always felt like she had to choose between her two sides. This already implies that she always felt a bit like an outcast, feeling like she couldn't be herself if she wanted to be loved. But cut storyboards for Golden actually shows that Zoey was made fun of by her American colleagues, because they thought she was kinda weird. The quack doctor also notes that she is a people pleaser, which confirms to me that she, in fact, felt like an outcast and only stopped feeling like that when she met Rumi and Mira. When I was thinking about what to base the dresses on, I had quite a few options. I could take K-pop outfits as inspirations, I could take more traditional idol apparel, or I could even take magical girl idol groups as inspiration. Lately, magical girl idol series have become very common. Take Kimito Idol Precure or My Bashi Witches, or we can go even further back and think of shows like Mermaid Melody or even Creamy Mommy. But I decided to base the dresses on a traditional hanbok, which is a traditional Korean outfit. And I decided to go this route because Huntrix is actually more traditionally Korean than most people would assume. For example, their logo mimics the shape of a Dongxingyol knot. The girls wear those knots as charms during their This Is How It's Done performance. We'll get back to those in a second. The demon hunting itself is based on tradition, and their weapons are traditionally Korean weapons. Which brings me back to Zoey. You'd think that she would have the least traditional Korean references, but her weapon choice says otherwise. Most people think that Zoey's weapons are kunai, but that is not the case. Zoey actually uses shinkal as weapons, which are traditional tools of worship. They're not even meant to be used as weapons. These are essentially dull knives used in ceremonies to ward off evil and curses. The reason why she uses them as throwing knives is because the animators couldn't find a source to how shinkal were meant to be used, and they had to improvise. Regardless, I think this says a lot about Zoey, because it means that even though she acts very American, because she grew up in California, she's still deeply connected to her Korean heritage. So the outfit I gave her isn't super traditional, but it still hints at tradition. Her top is a modern version of a hanbok shirt. She has her charm on her hanbok bow, and she also wears shorts and sneakers to show her more laid-back side. At the end of the day, her outfit merges both sides to create something truly unique to her. Aside from the dress shape, I also needed to choose a color scheme for the outfits. Thankfully, I didn't have to be too worried about it, because the girls' performance outfits are always very complementary. I could choose from any of the outfits that they used during the movie, but ultimately I decided to take inspiration from their white outfits. So, with Zoey's redesign, I wanted their outfit to merge both sides of her identity, modern and traditional, Korean and American, and I think it really captures who she is. Mira is the cool and sharp one. She's bold and fierce, confident enough to use a sleeping bag as a legitimate Met Gala outfit. She's a hothead, and she can be very aggressive when fighting, but is usually a very sweet girl that cares for her teammates a lot. You see, it is pretty clear that Mira comes from a very well-off background, but it is also revealed that she was considered to be the black sheep of the family. She was too wild, too rebellious, and her family did not approve of this behavior. Because of that, she became estranged from them, which makes Rumi and Zoey her true pillars of support. She cares deeply for her friends, so much so that she's the first one to notice that Rumi was acting weird. This bond is also reflected in her knot charm. The knots that the girls wear are a reflection of their personalities and what they hold dear. For example, Zoey's knot has a bead in the shape of a turtle, and it is later revealed that Zoey is obsessed with turtles. In Mira's case, her knot has a big pink heart with two beads in the shape of Rumi and Zoey's heads. It's a subtle but beautiful detail that shows how much she loves her found family. Visually, Mira has the most unique design, mainly because she has much more sharper features than Rumi and Zoey. This type of design language in female characters is usually reserved for villains and other types of antagonists, but here it's used to show her guardedness towards the outside world. When she's alone with her friends, her facial expressions actually soften a great deal. She also wears really cute outfits when she's just chilling at home. Pastel colors, cute animals, bows, all design details that go against her rebellious bad girl persona, but shows her true nature as a caring friend that just so happens to be a little intense every now and then. I wanted their magical girl design to feel different from her teammate, so instead of the more traditional skirt, I gave her a modernized hanbok top with tighter sleeves, holographic pants, and an open skirt flare, and boots. I wasn't entirely sure if the pants were the right choice, but I'd love to hear what you think about it in the comments. I also changed her hair silhouette. Her original partial pigtails are very cute, but a bit too realistic for magical girl hair, so I ended up exaggerating the shape of her pigtails to create a more interesting silhouette. My main inspiration for her hair was Madoka Kaname from Madoka Magica. Overall, I wanted Mira's redesign to show both her bold, rebellious side and the softer, more loving person she is underneath. And finally, we have our main girl, Rumi. Rumi is K-pop's Demon Hunter's main character as well as the main vocalist of the Hundreds girl group. In fact, Rumi dominates line distribution to almost a ridiculous extent. In the song Golden, she sings so much of it alone that Zoey and Mira literally leave the stage midway through the performance. Honestly, it's a little unfair to the others, but the song is so gorgeous, I can't really be too mad about it. Rumi is described as K-pop royalty, since her mom used to be part of another very popular girl group called the Sunlight Sisters. She unfortunately lost her mother and father at a very young age and was then adopted by Celine, a member of the Sunlight Sisters group. Her family history is a huge part of her character arc, especially because she is half demon. It's implied her father was a demon who was killed, and her mother's death is left more mysterious. Some fans even theorize that Celine herself may have been involved. Celine's relationship with Rumi is very weird. Celine claims that she loves Rumi, but she clearly hates Rumi's demon side. Celine is the one that wants to hide Rumi's demon heritage at all costs. She's almost disgusted by it. Rumi hates herself in the beginning, and this only really changes as her relationship with Gino progresses. Since he's a demon, he actually gives her insight into her demon part in a way that really no one else could. They never become an official couple, but their love is heavily implied, and there was actually a kiss scene that was unfortunately cut. Her upbringing was stricter, and she's less rebellious compared to Mira and Zoey, so a traditional magical girl outfit just made sense. I also drew her with her demon marks. It is a bit hard to see because both the marks and skin are very pale, but they're there. I also gave her a bracelet as a nod to the bracelet she gave Gino. It's not identical, but it carries the same meaning. This is by far my favorite redesign because it represents all of Rumi's complexities. But what do you think? Does Rumi's magical girl look work for you, or would you have gone in a different direction? And that's all I have for today. If you like my content, consider supporting me through channel memberships, where for €4.99 a month, you get to see sneak peeks for my videos, my personal projects, exclusive emojis and loyalty badges, as well as getting your name shouted out at the end of the videos just like this. Thank you, Sun is Art in the Sky, for supporting the channel. Your support means the world. If you can't or don't want to join memberships, liking and subscribing is a free way to support me. And if you want to see more stuff from me, I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at momopurin_chan, on Kara at momopurin, and on Blue Sky at momopurin_chan. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye!